It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. Generation full of G's, where the killers when you need. Generation full of cowards making other brothers bleed. iPhone 17, niggas living in surveillance. Podcasts every day, no different than Skip Bayless. This my first tape, let the dirt shake, fuck a survey. 36 years, I'm hoping to see my birthday. What's the odds these publications can cancel me? Never been accepted, I represent what they never be. Culture vultures thriving, they show you what they feel more. David killed a teenage girl trending on Billboard. Streams and he means, ain't none of it what it seems. Second term, the apprentice ain't nothing I could've dreamed. This is sacrifice, had to life. Niggas ain't been rapping right. Pistol grip, pump bit, feed them for their appetite. Separate the man and mice, we cut the lights and pay the price. I take the charge and do it twice, send them niggas up to Christ. Ain't nobody out here making real music. Don't nobody wanna put their heart into it. Ain't nobody still speaking from the stove. Don't nobody wanna see the genre grow. Ain't nobody out here making real music. Don't nobody wanna put their heart into it. Ain't nobody still speaking from the stove. Don't nobody wanna see the genre grow. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there, man. So, over this weekend, as we've been going through all of the Jay-Z 30 updates, concert footage, special guests, and things of that nature, we got this debate or this face-off or conversation or whatever you want to call it between the DJ that don't spin and Charlamagne. Okay? We know all about the so-called rift that these two have been going back and forth about for the past couple of months. We got Grand Wizard Chat Asian, who of course works for the DJ that don't spin, runs the No Spin TV channel, excuse me, not channel, but online accounts on social media. And of course, the Chat Asian has been doing his best to attack Charlamagne, make him look bad, use his past against him, all of those things, right? Not because he actually believes in what he's saying or that he's trying to be, some sort of help to public interest, but simply to attack Charlamagne because of the DJ that don't spin, right? So, just to give a refresher, Charlamagne reached out to the DJ that don't spin months ago, letting them know that there was some sort of litigation or lawsuit or something coming down the pipeline, right? And he warned them about the Grand Wizard Chat Asian, which I think was very gracious, more gracious than deserved. But he warned him. He's like, hey, I think this guy here is going to get you in some trouble. I think you should separate yourself from him. And I think you should just be very careful about the company that you keep. Only problem is, Charlamagne, you should be very careful about the company that you keep, because the fact that you even communicate and co-sign and act like this dude is even somebody to be cherished or given a fuck about in the culture at large is a indication of poor judgment on your part. But setting that to the side, the fact that you gave him a warning, it should have been seen as, a kind gesture. Thank you for the update. Thank you for, alerting me about any foreseeable issues in the future. I'll protect myself, right? But instead of taking it that way, he got on stream and starts blabbing, going back and forth, talking about how he's going to take the gloves off and everybody who wants to attack me, I'm going to go against. I'm going to incite a whole media war. I'm down to go against everybody. Y'all know how I play. I'm dirty with it. Blase blah. So as that dog whistle got disseminated to the public, the Chat Asian decided okay, this is my opportunity to get in the game, right? This is my opportunity to fight back, to fight for the honor of not only myself from Australia, but to also do the bidding, so-called, for the DJ that don't spin. And this has been an ongoing thing for months. Charlamagne has come out and spoken about it on multiple occasions, basically saying, yo, it's not that deep for me. I gave this dude a call. I tried to let him know what's going on, let him know what's going on in the pipeline, let him know that, you know, people's names are popping up in court documents, subpoenas are being sent out, information is being passed along. Your people are being interrogated. They giving up info. They saying that you and Drake give them orders on how to run this page. You know, so just be careful. The DJ that don't spin says, who gave you this information? He says, I don't know where it came from, but me and Lauren LaRosa received it, and I'm giving you a heads up, right? Now, of course, the DJ that don't spin, Drake, George, Chat Asian have all been mentioned multiple times in these stake lawsuits from people who feel like they've been manipulated into losing their money by stake.us, which is the American version of stake, where you're not supposed to be able to exchange or use real money or lose real money, but they find loopholes in which you can do just that. Um, they're not allowed to be called casinos. They're looked upon as games, but they're playing for real stakes. And there's multiple lawsuits against stake in multiple states. And these niggas' names have come out in them, along with Aiden Ross. So the DJ that don't spin and George have been playing defense, what they believe is offense, and trying to publicly smear Charlamagne. So they've agreed to do a sit down where they kind of hash out their differences, talk about their contrasting standpoints from their respective sides. The DJ that don't spin, of course, defending himself, Chat Asian, Drake, and Stake, literally wearing an OVO chain and a Stake hoodie in the conversation. And then we've got Charlamagne basically defending his stance that he's not a Roc Nation puppet, and defending his interest in that casino that Jay-Z was trying to bring, which was ultimately declined, rejected by the city or the state. And it was a nothing burger. But since the DJ that don't spin saw his name as part of the investment group that wanted to bring it, he then says, you're a Roc Nation puppet. They're telling you to come out here. They're giving you information. You're being you're not telling the whole story. And that's why I've been going up against you. Okay? So they're going to debate about a few topics. I refuse to watch the whole thing. It's over 2 hours or whatever it was, hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever the fuck it is. I'm not watching the whole thing, but I have seen that some of the clips have surfaced online, and I've saved a few of those clips to discuss with y'all here today. If you want to see the whole thing, you can either watch it on the fucking No Spin channel, or you could watch it on Charlamagne's channel. Either way, that has nothing to do with me. We're going to talk about what I bring up on the screen. Okay? Cool. So before we get into this whole back and forth, they end up speaking about the Drake and Kendrick thing that's been, of course, stuck in hip hop lexicon for the last couple of years. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere, but the fervor around it, in my eyes, does seem to be going down. It's just certain people that keep trying to keep it alive, and we already know what that motivation is. But here, it says Charlamagne says hip hop media became too emotionally invested in Drake versus Kendrick. I 1000% agree. Charlamagne argues journalists shouldn't be writing for artists, while the DJ that don't spin admits there was quote unquote no way he was going to let Drake bleed out because he believed the media had gone beyond covering a rap battle. So he jumped in with his parachute on and said, I'll take the shots if he don't want to, as a grown man.
These days, what online is, because now everything they try to throw me into, they throw Drake into like we're teammates, right?
You
Drake's
did
my
that.
man. He gave me a chain like that's my man's. But you know, I was just a big fan of his. I supported him doing some really tough moments in his career. That's why I got to change.
Okay, I'm talking about same over here.
Okay.
I've never liked Drake's music. You know that.
All right, bet.
So who could pay me to hate Drake?
We never said that. But what I'm saying is that now the internet is breaking where there's teams.
And I think that's silly.
Well, it's not about if it's silly or not. Is it happening? These days, you're realizing the people who are super pro Jay-Z, they're usually shitting on Drake. The people who are usually pro Drake, they don't give a fuck about whether it's Kendrick or...
But shouldn't we be better as media personalities? Why do we fuel that? Like, we should know that, hey, you can have your opinion about an artist. I can have my opinion about an artist. That don't mean the fan bases got to hate each other. That's some Republican Democrat shit.
Yeah, but all this, I told you, it started with Kendrick and Drake.
That's
hip-hop
dumb,
is
though.
never...
You help fuel that too.
How I help fuel that?
You help fuel that divide because
keep in mind the first time George was mentioned, they pulled up on me at a concert.
Because instead of just letting Drake get belt to ass, right?
You think I'm gonna let my man get jumped? I know
that's crazy.
But instead of y'all were trying to let him get.
But instead of just let the
there was a lot of coward niggas in media.
But let the rappers rap. Like listen,
no, it was bigger than that.
Okay,
because a lot of people at that point, like I know that feeling when niggas think you done and niggas feel like it's okay to kick it back in. And okay, Drake, we get it with the battle, right? Drake and Kendrick. But I seen media personalities gloat. Maybe they wanted an interview, or maybe they were promised an interview. And that was the moment they're like, all right, fine, we got him. So they picked
that's life.
Okay, no, it's cool. So, all right, so cool. So they picked their side. What I'm saying is that not because my man bleeding out, I'm going to be like, all right, I'm going to just be on y'all side now. No, we fight till the end.
You don't have to be on no side. You still a Drake fan. Objectively, you could say, yo, Drake lost the rap battle. It don't matter. Drake going to still be Drake. That's what I said.
The entire media was kicking his back, and what I said is...
He got beat. If somebody walked in here right now, if two guys walked in here and jumped on me and you, and we got our ass kicked, the internet would be gloating. They'd be like, finally, somebody fucked up DJ Akademiks, somebody fucked up Charlamagne the God. That's the way the game goes.
It was more than just about the rap battle. The narratives, too. It's
what one of the narratives?
It's the reason why he was suing. Like
I didn't like that. Because the reality is, it's a rap battle. They both said foul shit about each other. They both said defile.
But let me ask you a question. And this is when I think people start realizing how powerful the media is, right? Did any of those narratives that came from the battle? Because I think people like you would want the audience to believe that Drake legit just took 2 years before this Iceman situation that he's just back number one again, just because. A rap battle. No, there was narratives.
That's another false narrative.
There was narratives that spawned.
He didn't take no time off.
No, hold on. No, it's not about time off.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that he's back like he's never missed a step, in my opinion.
He never went nowhere.
Okay, but you're not.
We're acting like the Party Next Door album didn't have bops on it.
You're right. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that for 2 years, because of the battle and the fracturing of the fans, and also a lot of the media going against him, every negative, there was a time where negative campaigns or hate, things against Drake just didn't work. You know why? Because people were like, nah, that's not Drake. Everything negative said about Drake afterwards worked. You know why?
Worked how? What do you mean worked? When you say worked, what do you mean worked?
The people were carrying on these narratives that was driving almost like groupthink about him and his entire career.
Have you ever heard the quote, even dirty water makes flowers grow? So people can say negative shit they say negative shit about you all the time. Has that stopped your career?
No.
People say negative shit about me all the time. Has that stopped my career? People say negative shit about Drake. Has that stopped his career?
Okay, well, they say negative shit about Jay.
And the crazy thing about it, the crazy shit people say about y'all got in common. They think all three of y'all motherfuckers is nasty, weird niggas. You know what I'm saying? So y'all should be the ones to tell Drake, hey man, this shit really ain't hitting on nothing, because people say this shit about us all the time. Whether true, whether not, whether somewhere in the middle, it ain't stopped no show yet. Till a motherfucker get locked up, and that's the truth of the matter. You know what I'm saying? Until a motherfucker get locked up, these niggas' motion does not stop. They haven't lost no corporate endorsements, sponsorships, opportunities, nothing. And they all got the same allegations. Drake, Ak, and Charlamagne. That's the truth of the matter. that continues to get overlooked, but Drake want to sue the label, put Kendrick's shit all up in it. What did it do? You tarnished your own remnants or whatever you had, you know what I mean? Because nobody really gave a fuck about it. Yeah, there was people that ran with it. There's people that believe it. There's people that feel like there is evidence, you know what I'm saying, of weird behavior. But at the same time, when you feed into it and then you magnify all the things being said about you, it only puts it on a bigger screen, a bigger megaphone. You ultimately embarrass yourself even further. But this nigga don't want to acknowledge that. We're going to keep this shit moving. We're going to get to the other fuck shit. So here we have, what is this? We have Charlamagne calling out Homeboy over his coverage of the allegations surrounding Drake's camp. Charlamagne argues can't repeatedly dismiss the lawsuits as bullshit without also addressing the claims that Drake associate George Grand Wizard Chat Asian helped inflate streams through coordinated streaming schemes. Okay? DJ That Don't Spin fires back saying he doesn't believe Drake is involved and insists people are trying to tie him to allegations without evidence. He's the main one promoting this shit daily. That nigga was just out here. Didn't he just come out here and say he won $30 million on fucking stake knowing he ain't put no real money up the other day? Did I not see that? I didn't cover it, but I damn sure know I saw it. But he ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
What they got going on. You can be using these clippers to push your narratives. You could be using these clippers to promote your songs, but these clippers might also be involved in some other shit. No, I'm not.
No. Charlotte, what I'm saying to you, everything you're reading that this guy is writing that came from these civil suits, I want to address it. It is false. Like,
do you think? So you're asking? Do I think Drake would be doing this?
Drake is not doing it.
Okay.
Republic Records, which is his label, ain't doing it.
That's a lie.
Republic Records is botting Drake's music through stake because that's what it alleges.
I don't know. I'm saying,
we're going on. You said it was a good article.
When it comes to using the clippers to push narratives,
okay,
and make yourself look larger than life.
Okay, so we're going off the article that you say your man Dalton did, right? And I'm saying that
he mentioned a bunch of different things clippers are doing, not just the streaming.
But let's talk about the illegal ones because I just mentioned legal ones. The future shit's legal.
Okay,
that's legal. You're saying, well, what about this illegal stuff? Okay, so let's talk about what could be illegal, right? Yes, theoretically, it could be illegal if there is money being transferred, sent back and forth through countries
especially
to bot streams.
Especially if it's crypto.
Yeah, but crypto is not a crime. Is having crypto? Do you have cryptocurrency?
No. If you're not reporting,
that's why you think that.
If you're not if you're not reporting it in Australia,
how would you know?
If you're doing it through tipping features,
how would you know what he's reporting or not?
I don't. But the people investigating him probably do.
Did Dalton make?
I have no idea.
Surely you say you've read these things.
Did you see the other article in the age.com, Australia? With the one that said they put the investigators on them, the one that said...
With no new info.
But it don't matter if it's new or not. The thing I be wanting to know is, how come you're not having these conversations with your audience?
Because I'm trying to have it with you and
No, but you say you're so transparent.
No, Charlotte. Okay. I've spoke about these lawsuits because they've filed them against Drake and Aiden before. I've said they're bullshit.
But do you tell the people what they're actually being accused of? It's one thing to explain the clipping. It's one thing to explain.
Go through the article.
I've never seen you go through the article. I've never seen you go through an article.
I went through it. I went through one of them. But the allegations, I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. Mention the specific allegations, and then we could speak as people.
I just did.
Okay. And I just told you. I said, so do you believe that Drake is money laundering his earnings or whatever through a online gambling casino to get his streams inflated? Does that even sound right?
No, but I think George might be. I think George might be involved in doing that.
So why the hell would George? So now the allegation that Drake is doing it. Okay, so we're getting Drake out of the way. I bet. So Drake's out of the way. Why would George do it?
For money.
So who would he be doing it for?
I have no idea.
If he's doing it for, he's not is he a musician?
No, but it could be a musician paying him.
Who you think is paying? You're saying that there's things here, but now we're assuming a crime.
I ain't assuming nothing. I'm just reading the article, giving you information.
But when we're talking about what's there, you don't even have anything you could like properly fall back on and say.
I just read you everything. These people, this is
the main accusation. You just agreed with me that you don't believe Drake is doing that.
Well, let me say this.
So give me another accusation.
No. Let me say this. It's hard for me to think Drake would do that. That's honestly how I feel.
Wait, what?
It's hard for me to.
Charlotte's a media legend, man.
It's hard for me to think that Drake would do that because why would he have to?
He's not.
But that doesn't mean he's not. And I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just telling you what these allegations are saying. And I'm telling you that your boy George is in the middle of all of these allegations. And
I really hate this conversation. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Because what we see here is this is like a live demonstration of an adult talking to a child. And it shouldn't be, right? Charlamagne is in his late 40s, mid 40s, going on 50 or what have you. I don't know Charlotte's exact age. He might be 50 something. Who knows? Homeboy is 37, 38 years old. And he acts like a fucking child. He deflects. He will do anything to get out of actually having to even admit anything or see things sensibly. It is painful to watch this, right? And then he tries to tell Charlamagne what he's doing or what he's saying. Charlamagne centers it and says, no, I said this, right? And the facts are the facts. And I can only say facts as far as what's being alleged, right? So the facts are that there's lawsuits out there indicating Drake, Steak, Aiden Ross, and George Chat Asian, right? For fraud and all types of crazy shit, right? They're saying that they're funneling money into to George's crypto accounts to run botting campaigns on Drake music. I don't know, right? But the facts are that those lawsuits exist. DJ That Don't Spin is trying to act like, oh, we shouldn't even be talking about this because it's bullshit. But we don't know what's bullshit and what's not. That's why there's a such thing as investigations. And he's basically mad at Charlamagne for shedding light on the fact that it exists, even though the paperwork has already been out there before Charlamagne ever acknowledged any of it or called him about it. We have been covering this stuff. Multiple people have been out here covering. We've been talking about this stuff. Publications have been talking about this stuff. So to come out with a vendetta against Charlamagne, who tried to give you a warning and a heads up for you to get ahead of some shit, which he shouldn't have, is asinine. And ends up just feeling like this all is a setup for content. So here we have another clip that says, can anybody explain why DJ That Don't Spin can't answer this question directly? Charlamagne asked him, who is the name on all the lawsuits, because they are the ones responsible, not Roc Nation. But for some odd reason, he refuses to answer the question.
Have his face out there and address. Also, the pictures that Roc Nation's people took got his whole ad, like you literally see his house.
Let me ask you a question. When Grand Wizard gets served, because that's the other thing I'll be wondering. When he gets served, who are the lawsuits coming from? Because when y'all are pointing fingers at all of these different people, those names on those lawsuits should be the people y'all pointing at. Are those people from Roc Nation?
Yeah, but it don't work like that. So,
what you mean?
Like, this
who are the lawsuits from, is what I'm saying.
Okay, no. I hear the question. So, you're going to have to remember this is also casino adjacent, right? I'm telling you, every casino or some type of, it could be, if we're talking about call sheet, we're talking about Poly Market. If we're talking about, those are betting prediction markets. If we're talking about Prize Picks, we're talking Underdog Fantasy. Those are fantasy sports. They're all doing the same thing. Like, I had to deal with Prize Picks and Underdog. Spotify got me to deal with Underdog. They literally tell you we're skirting. Well, they don't say they're skirting around real laws, but they're like, when you are doing your promo, mention it this way because this is how we avoid the law. This is entire how casinos, prediction markets all happen.
That's cool. But who are the lawsuits coming from?
Okay, so I'm telling you.
Those are your ops.
No, I'm going to tell you. But that's why I say Roc Nation is involved. Because
So Rock Nation's suing y'all. That's who the lawsuits are coming from.
It's not, their name is not going to be on the lawsuit.
Why not?
So, for example, I'll give you an
Hold on, so you think they're funding people to sue y'all?
Yeah, that's of course.
How can you prove that? I'm asking. I don't know.
Okay, Charlamagne. Have you read these lawsuits?
No.
These lawsuits are claiming these people said they don't have no money, yet their lawyers are going up against state's lawyers. Who do you think is funny? That a broke motherfucker claiming they're suing $1 billion casino.
Well, it's just a civil suit. You don't need no money to file a civil suit.
There's a million motions, Charlamagne.
You don't need any money to file a civil suit.
Charlamagne, have you ever?
I can file a civil suit right now with no lawyer.
Have you've been in civil suits, right?
100%, and that's how I know people.
How much?
Broke,
all right, let me ask you a
plenty
question.
of broke people can sue you.
Let me ask you a question. What?
Stupidest question of the day. Wasn't the lady in Alabama who accused Jay-Z of doing terrible things to her? Wasn't she broke too? Who funded that? Tony Busby is a whole fucking legal empire in Texas. He didn't need that fucking money from her because his goal was to make more money off of her than she could have ever paid him up front. As a matter of fact, there's multiple lawsuits against Tony Busby for doing the very same thing to multiple people, winning the cases, taking their money, and never dispersing their winnings to the actual victims of whatever it was. And now he's getting his ass sued for stealing. So this notion that you have to have somebody funding you in order to file a civil suit is idiocy. Especially if the attorneys see the upside and, okay, this is a large enough case. This is something that's going to be substantial enough to where we can sustain whatever the financial investment is going to be, because we stand to gain so much more. These are class action lawsuits. And from what I've heard, class action lawsuits, the lawyers eat up damn near 40 to 50% of the winnings if you win, and then the remainder of it gets dispersed to those that are part of the class. So yeah, there's big money in that. And these people can't afford to do it on their own. This shit ain't nothing new. This shit been going on forever. Stupid ass questions. So getting off the fuck shit for a moment, we also got this segment here. And shout out to 3 Letter Man. He says, Ak is so corny at times, and I'm noticing he leaves out stuff in his stories. So in this piece here, they get into a conversation that Charlamagne had with the DJ That Don't Spin back during the Everyday Struggle era, right? And basically, because the DJ That Don't Spin has come out on the internet and said, Charlamagne told me to walk off set at the during Everyday Struggle. He wanted to trick me out my spot. He wanted to get me off the air and try to act like he cared about me or something to that effect, right? So here they get into the actual conversation that happened where Charlamagne said, if people are not going to respect you on set and protect you on set, then maybe you should leave. You know what I'm saying? Not the same as you need to walk off set and do your own thing and go be Beyonce. So this is where 3 Letter Man is saying, okay, homeboy be leaving shit out of his stories. He always positions himself as the victim or as, you know, he just puts himself in a position where someone's always against him. And then he'll remove the parts of the story where somebody was actually looking out so that he can come entertain his viewers.
About me when I called you about Everyday Struggle, you manipulated that conversation as well.
True. No,
I told you that if you keep getting disrespected, you don't have to be there. I said, yo,
No.
And I told you, I said that media space isn't respecting your audience yet. Because remember, all of this shit that everybody feels about the internet now, they didn't feel like that back then. They saw it, but they were still trying to play that traditional media game. You were building an audience that they didn't even have yet. And I just told you, hey, if you keep getting disrespected, walk off. But did you tell the people? Because Joe did. Joe said this publicly. I was making calls to try to get Everyday Struggle on Revolt.
Okay.
Did you ever tell people that?
Well, the revolt.
A lot of times,
wait.
A lot of times people
was,
think we got issues because of things that you say.
No. The revolt stuff, I was never really party to.
I told you though.
So
Joe got it, and I connected Joe who he needed to connect.
Joe had conversations,
and then Joe went and did some other shit.
And then I was like an afterthought with that particular thing. So it was not like I'm like in the huddle, the group huddle. The point about the Everyday Struggle thing, okay, I'll give you that. There is some context missing because you were like, yo, bro, I think you're getting disrespected on that show.
It's true.
However,
Joe stood up and looked in your face and was yelling at you.
But also it was good theater. Like, and that's where I was trying to like balance it. Like I'm kind of new in the game. And like, I have so much love for that show because it needed to be that. It couldn't be, okay, you got your audience and now you're supposed to be looking like this Don Dada, like, yo, you're supposed to get tested. Now, obviously, with some respect, of course. Mm-hmm. But the only part of that conversation I said the part where you said, yo, act, you know how you do, nigga, when you go in, nigga, walk off on air if that shit happens. And that, like, I thought
I don't remember
it.
saying that, though.
Nah, you did.
I remember saying, quit the show. I don't know if I said walk off on air.
Trust me.
I don't know if I really don't remember if I said that.
Charlotte, during that time, I remember, me and you definitely talked a bunch. I remember even with I remember talking to you about the Wale thing.
What was the Wale thing?
Wale was coming up to the show, and it was like a online moment that was preempting it, where he was just like, "Yo, a nigga like you can't call me corny," and
you can't.
I remember talking to you, and you basically was like, "Yo, act if you the type of personality that I'm watching, you become."
You gotta say it this face.
As soon as he comes in, you need to say, "Listen here, Wale." And I did that. And I feel like you kind of slammed it a bit. Like I remember your comments, but it wasn't like
I don't remember you calling Wale corny in his face.
No, I said I made the comment. I made the comment because I was voicing what people were already saying about you online.
No, you can't do that. You got to say, I think you corny.
But
like back in the day,
that's not what I said about him. Though. I said people think Wale's corny. That was the conversation at the time.
Oh, I thought you called him corny. Okay.
I don't call these rappers corny because like
Wale, that's my guy.
Yeah,
Salute to Joe too. I'm not. Listen, that's another thing, and I hope for us to get from this conversation.
That's a good point that Charlamagne made though, because a lot of dudes, and this ain't really specific to the DJ that don't spin, but just like this online atmosphere that we have. People make inflammatory comments, and then, when they get called out about it, they find a way to dress it up. You know what I mean? So he said, hey, if you call him corny, you got to call him corny to his face. He says, well, I was going to say people online say you're corny, right? Now, again, I'm not completely attaching this to Mr. No Spin. But at the same time, those are two different statements. And if you say one, don't come back and say the other. You got to say exactly what you said, how you said it the first time. Now, not to say you got to have energy and extra sauce and pizzazz on it to try to get one off on a nigga, but just got to, if you say it, you got to be able to stand on it. Or when you back down from it, you got to be willing to say, my mistake. And I think a lot of that nuance and accountability a lot of times gets overlooked. And then we get these people that come out kicking and screaming, acting like big tough guys, and then on the back end turn into victims. I don't like that part of it. You know what I'm saying? Then you got people that will come out and completely reveal a whole host of crazy shit about a nigga, right? And then they decide, oh, I don't want to do this no more. I want to be on the side of the person that I outed. And then they want to come back and try to condemn other people for not being on their side. What the fuck is that? Dirty boy. You know what I'm saying? So I just think, I've been saying it increasingly lately. We got to be more responsible stewards of what it is that we say on these microphones. We can't prioritize entertainment to the point of sacrificing integrity. We just can't do it.
And at the end of the day, if everything ends up being just for the internet entertainment or whatever, at some point, when the people realize that you're not being your real self or being authentic, they're gonna stop tuning into you anyway. Once they figure out your code, they crack the code on your fuck, find somebody who they feel is more authentic. You're gonna lose. So you might as well go out being legit.
We have our conversation. I'm just gonna make the rounds. Not the rounds.
You should.
But like Joe, just really Joe. Like, cause we don't, this shit is stupid. To me, when I sit back and I look at all of this shit that's been going on,
I'm
it's
going
like,
to George.
Am I going to George? I don't give a fuck about George. That's your man. I don't have to deal with George. That's your guy. I don't give a fuck about that Vietnamese kid from Australia.
That's why I think things went.
George would never hear me mention his name if he hadn't started shooting at me.
Hold on, all right. Okay, privately. So then I get it publicly, which I think.
That's your fault, though. You did that.
I wanted y'all to.
But I called you privately.
But I'm not gonna hold.
You didn't have to you didn't have to make any of this public. None.
Let me ask you a question. If I call you and I tell you something about Schultz, are you gonna tell him? You don't fuck with Schultz. If you gotta think like that, you don't fuck with Schultz.
No, I had to think about what you said. Yeah,
yo,
100%.
the moment I fuck with a nigga and you call, like, again, I'm not saying it to throw you under the bus.
But I didn't know you and that dude was close like that.
And fuck Schultz. But if you tell him something about him privately, you think he's gonna come out on his platform and say, called me about this, or do you think they're gonna have a conversation about it online? Or do you think they're gonna go on their platform and immediately try to attack? You know what I'm saying? So the two don't correlate. Again, this is the debate about nothing. The last clip I'm gonna pull up comes from Friday Ricky Dread. Ignore him, please. He clipped it up online, which is why I'm watching it. Where he says, where Charlamagne says that Jay-Z has never ever mentioned a DJ that don't spin. Why would he ever anyway? He says, see, the gaslighter is great at spinning narratives. I think I see a narrative being spun in this caption. Crazy.
I never talked to them.
You're not gonna like what I said. You're not gonna like what I got to say.
So when you talk to Jay-Z or you talk to Desiree Perez,
Jay-Z has never mentioned you. I don't even, by the way, what makes you think I talk to Jay like that? I don't. That's the craziest thing about.
Why? This nigga, he really thinks Jay-Z gives a fuck about him. Is hilarious.
All of this.
You know, you literally said, I'm going to call all the way to the very top. Who's at the very top?
That could have been Dez. That's who.
Okay,
like that's
when you
who
talk
I'm
to Dez, then, all right, when you talk, like,
Dez is busy. Dez ain't thinking. When I tell you she not thinking about this type of shit, I'm just telling you, bro.
In a deposition, 5 hours in, they said,
that was 3 years ago when her artist was in duress.
She just sued. No. She just actually asked for Twitter accounts that's talking about her and her daughter case to be investigating the post. Yes.
You're not making no sense right now.
No. Hold on.
You're talking about a personal issue between her and her daughter.
Wait. You said this person, we're talking about Desiree Perez, the CEO of Rock Nation. You said she's so busy, she wouldn't care to have these conversations or to even be thinking about whatever. I'm telling you.
You just said, and by the way, I don't know anything about this. You just said her and her.
I got you, Charles.
You said her.
You got to pull her receipts on Charles. I got you, Charles.
You said her and her daughter. Well, that's different than her and DJ Akademiks.
Hey, did y'all just see the way that nigga looked down? This is why I said this shit remind me of an adult speaking to a child. Did you see the way that nigga looked down just a second ago? What the fuck? Camera work going crazy, whoever filmed it.
Her daughter. Well, that's different than her and DJ Akademiks. I'm telling you right now, respectfully, you're leading with a lot of ego.
Charla.
And if I'm wrong, listen, if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong in the future. Right now, it feels like you're leading with a lot of ego. I'm not playing no defense.
You're playing defense for these people because you're acting like they're above the fray. They're not. They're wallowing in the mud. They just play a different game where they're an invisible hand.
You're saying I'm playing defense.
This is the gas.
I called you privately to tell you something about you. Then the very next.
Shelby, you're playing defense, and I'm telling you who it's coming from. You're saying, nah, it ain't them.
No, you
They're
gotta
too
stop.
big.
You gotta stop saying that. And this is the part I want people to actually see. I called you to give you a heads up on something. You respond by having your guy start attacking me.
I didn't tell him.
So I start attacking your guy.
I didn't tell
that
him.
That ain't got nothing to do with no Rock Nation. That's
I
me.
told you on the phone. This, I believe, is coming from Rock Nation. You said
Rock Nation? What is coming from Rock Nation?
Everything.
What is everything? I didn't know nothing about none of this shit.
I told you like 5 different things. I said,
no.
Hey, they tried to bring me to deposition. You
told me that. You did tell me the deposition shit.
I said they tried to in a roundabout way.
Like you didn't know George when I first bought George.
You were brought up in a deposition for things that you stated online regarding a fucking court case that were not made public, that you had to have received. And we're talking about the Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion shit. He was brought into a deposition for that because him and Milagro Scams came out speaking about information that they had been given behind the scenes that was only supposed to be for the legal teams of who was involved. They came out, misrepresented the info to give it a slant like Tory Lanez was going to walk free. They got egg on their face, and then he had to be questioned about it during Megan Thee Stallion's lawsuit against Milagro. He makes it seem like Rock Nation had a personal vendetta against him when all they were doing was investigating people who put out the same statements. You put out the same statement as Milagro the same morning before it even got brought up in the fucking courtroom. Yes. Where did you get this information from? Because we're trying to prove here that you, alongside this woman, have also been being fed info, which is what part of that whole lawsuit was about Tory Lanez feeding people info, paying influencers or different people in the media to be a part of a hate campaign against her, to say what Tory Lanez wanted to say against her, because he himself could not come out and do it because he was placed on a gag order to not talk about Megan or the case. But you pervert the information just like you did with the information that was given to you by Tory Lanez and his father to grandstand on public platforms.
George, up to you. When I sent you the pictures that I sent you.
That's Grand Wizard.
No, his name is George Wynn.
All right, well,
when I sent you those pictures of George, you said, who is this?
Yeah, I didn't.
And I said, they said, this is Grand Wizard Chad nigga. This is George Wynn, who runs Akademiks TV. Yeah. You was like, damn, I thought he was skinny.
It's not like we done hung out and went on vacation.
Now you're
no, that's my
now you're lying.
No, that's my man.
You didn't act like that was your man when I first bought him up.
No, I said, you showed me a picture. I said, I didn't know that's how he looks at this moment.
No, I said I got the text. You said, who is this?
No, read it.
You said, who is this?
And then you said, that's Grand Wizard. I said, he's fat? That's all I said.
Hold on.
So you going up to bat. You going up to bat again for a motherfucker who you claim is your dog, your homie. You going to ride it out to the end. And you don't even know what this motherfucker look like. This is why I personally don't respect a lot of the internet games and antics. I am not going up for a motherfucker that I can't even pull out of an ID lineup. Excuse me? Are you crazy?
Charlotte, I ain't gonna lie. What I realize is that Rock Nation got to get a little bit better with the narratives because
I don't know
even the divide and conquer shit.
I don't know. But that's my point. There is none. I don't feel like looking for them texts. That shit is really pointless. This isn't about Rock Nation, and I wish you would stop saying that because sometimes let's talk about us.
If I'm telling you that I know where it's coming from,
cool.
You're playing defense by saying it's not coming there.
If Rock Nation is coming at you, I don't have nothing to do with that.
Okay, and that's when I ask you respectfully to step to the side that we can focus on Desiree and Jay-Z.
Now I'm not going to do that
because now when Granny hit me, I'll be like, of course, take the gloves off with them too.
No,
like, we don't want to get at Charlamagne. No, Charlamagne, but get him out of here.
But why did the gloves come off for me to begin with,
Charlotte? Because in the way of how you deliver the information, you want to frame it like it was a heads up. It was more of a, the way to neutralize these guys is to get Ak away from them by saying,
that's what a guilty person would think.
Nigga, you told me the dude is stealing from me. You have no proof of it.
I never said he was stealing from you. I saw you say that on the screen. I'm like, what did I think he was stealing from
Charlie, you said he took $4 million from me. You literally told me this.
How would he take $4 million from you?
That's what I was saying, but that's why he was bullshit.
I never said he took.
He's driving Act crazy.
He said he got press. Oh, and you said
and he told investigators that he gets the marching orders from
and you said, I seen the finances. Yo, he's getting paid a lot more than you. Yo, I think he's.
By the way, I was wrong about that. Remember the shit I showed you earlier?
Watch this guy.
The shit I showed you that with all the shit that you get paid to do?
Yeah.
Yes, you make more than him.
It's music promotion.
Yeah.
But we got to be clear because like when we allude to it, so what you showed me, and you could put it on camera. Like I don't like it when you see this is another thing. This is why I brought this conversation public. I don't like it when people are acting like they got some privileged information. Number one, if I brought up your Breakfast Club or Netflix contract or whatever, and I start like putting it on.
Charlamagne didn't put shit out. That's the whole thing. He called you first and foremost. He didn't even come out speaking about this shit until y'all started going in on him. Stupid motherfucker. It don't matter if you got his Breakfast Club contract and you come and put it out publicly because that's not what he did to you. He came to you and spoke to you privately and asked you questions and pointed out what was in the paperwork. Again, the debate about nothing. And it's ultimately only benefited the DJ that don't spin because you see the differential between the views. On Homeboy page, he got 180,000 plus views. On Charlamagne's channel, he got about 40. So who did this conversation end up benefiting at the end of the day? The manipulation fixes in people. They're just doing this stuff for content. The debates about nothing. Just like you see the debates about nothing on other people's channels talking about who's better, Kendrick or Drake, like some fucking civilians could come on camera and debate each other and come to some sort of resolution that one is literally better than the other. Nigga, you gonna feel how you feel. It don't fucking matter. Either way, you gonna like who you like, love who you love. You're gonna go to the concert of the artist you like. You're gonna buy the music of the artist you like if you buying it. You're gonna stream it. Ain't nothing going to change. Nobody's opinion is going to change. The only person's opinion who's going to change in this landscape today is going to be a grifter who sees an opportunity to get money from an audience of people that they're not being paid from to begin with. Just like somebody who recently did that also. Okay? People, the games are being played. How's it going down? All right? Fuck all this shit. I'll catch y'all a little bit later. Much love and respect to y'all for tuning in. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good out there. Be safe. Enjoy the Jay-Z extra innings this evening. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Yeah, family over fame in this bitch, yeah. The glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'll never politic and the drama be piling on. Father and great son acknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5 sit bank accounts every day I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I can do this shit in my sleep. I been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I been fighting these niggas if you speak on the street. I'll turn your birthday party into New Year's Eve. Don't let me take it there. We ain't playing fair. This the ATL, Southside nigga moving furniture like Wayfair. Life on hold, no insurance for your healthcare. Lifeline gone, so you wanna be a millionaire? Well, let me tell you about this world I built. The women I dodged, the niggas that I read for filth. The sympathy calls, consulting for the stakes I built. I had to evolve.